हाँ ठीक है.
चलो, going live.
Cool. Let's go.
And we are live now. Finally.
Done. Let's do this.
जो भी एक तो चैट में लेट होके चला रहे, पहले तो मैं माफी मांग लूं, और उसके बाद मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि एकदम परफेक्ट टाइम पे चल रहे थे, सब कुछ एकदम बढ़िया चल रहा था, उसके बाद टेक्निकल इश्यू आ गया लाइफ में. तो दिस मेक्स यू रियलाइज दैट नो मैटर हाउ प्रिपेयर्ड यू आर फॉर स्टफ, shit can still go wrong. Wow, we opened on a heavy material. Sid, are you there or
Lesson for life.
lesson for life?
Yeah, dude. I am here. I'm excited. Can you hear me?
I can hear
Please
you.
tell me that you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay,
See, the
cool.
technical problem was that Sid couldn't hear me. And now I can't see Sid. Wow. मुझे नहीं पता क्या इंटरनेट का इशू है, बट रमैया वस्ता भैया. Very good. Vodafone OP. एक मिनट. I will not allow that because I think internet is okay. Hello Yash
Is it,
भैया.
dude? I am here. I can hear you well. I hope that you can hear me as well.
हाँ, बीच बीच में थोड़ा लैग हो रहा है, मतलब बीच बीच में डिसेपर हो रहा है, एकदम वैसा.
Oh, bhai. Okay, cool.
हाँ.
Hi everyone. Hi chat. Sorry if my internet is causing a problem.
कोई नहीं. It's better than the other problems that are causing problems in their life, dude. I mean.
Wow. अभी शुरुआत में ही अब.
बट सिड, सो ये मेरा कर्तव्य है कि मैं आपको बताऊं, क्योंकि मैं जानता हूं कि आपको पता है अनफिल्टर्ड कॉन्वर्सेशंस है, बट स्टिल द पीपल हु आर जॉइनिंग इन, मैं उनको भी बता दूं कि क्या चल रहा है. सो बेसिकली अनफिल्टर्ड कॉन्वर्सेशन इज वेयर द चैट brings up topics, asks us anything, and we can pick those topics up, talk about them, give our perspectives, no matter what they are, without any judgment. Of course, without giving hate speech. But with you, I don't think that ever is a problem.
Oh, you don't know that. I was just waiting to come on this platform so that I can let my true inner demons out. Yeah, you've made a huge mistake.
With the number of times I've met you, and even in the conditions I've met you in, I know that your inner demon is also so diplomatic that वो बाहर आके hateful नहीं हो पाएगा.
Okay, I challenge accepted. Chat, तुम लोग पूछो, अभी देखते हैं. Let's see how unfiltered I can get.
देव संगानी कह रहे एक शाउट आउट प्लीज एक बार देव का नाम ले लीजिए सिड.
Hey Dev, cheers to you.
अमेजिंग. सो गाइज, यू नो द ड्रिल. आप टॉपिक्स यहाँ पर हमें देते. यू नेवर रीड माई चैट. संसार, आई एम रीडिंग योर चैट. संसार, एक तो नाम ही आपका ऐसा है, आपको कैसे कोई मिस आउट कर सकता है. But yeah, guys, you can drop your topics here and we'll pick up topics and we'll discuss. But मतलब आप जब
Can
तक
you
topics
compliment Yaya on his
हाँ.
t-shirt first? कितना मतलब खूबसूरत t-shirt है वो. This is it has so many subliminal messages. Very nice, Yaya. Beautiful.
Thank you, sir. This is actually the official merchandise of Saini Raj. तो आप चेकआउट भी कर सकते हैं. ये हो गया हमारा एकदम ही. कितने दिलदार लोग हैं भाई. हम लोग ऐसे ही कर देते हैं भाई लोगों का प्रमोशन, कोई स्ट्रेस ही नहीं.
ऐसे ही प्रमोशन. It's beautiful. Must t-shirt.
भाई. So before chat comes up with topics, I have a question for you. ठीक है. And more than a topic, this is much more of a personal question. All right. So Sid, you are a doctor.
Yes, it was love at first sight. Yeah. Yes.
With me, right?
Of course.
Oh,
I know that you're too narcissistic to care about anybody else. Of course, with you.
Of course. I'm like बंदे की शादी हो चुकी है, जो भी चल रहा है लाइफ में, बट हम घुमा फिरा के अपने पे लेंगे क्योंकि पर्सनालिटी. But Sid, you are a practicing doctor and at the same time you manage to do these streams and stuff. और ये दोनों दुनिया है ना, बहुत अलग है एक तरीके से. Like I understand when doctors are making reels, right? I can still put my head around that because चलो ठीक है, एक piece आ गया, हमने वो बना लिया, that's done. But as a practicing doctor, coming up for streams, chilling, then going having a serious day, coming back again, taking workshops. तुम बैलेंस कैसे कर रहे हो ये सब चीजों के बीच में?
Can I take a moment and say that out of all the things that I do, I am proudest of this one fact, that I am able to manage it. Just, just as a moment of honesty.
Correct.
क्योंकि हम लोग लाइफ में बहुत कुछ चीजें अचीव करते हैं, but I feel like the thing that I'm proudest of is how I manage my time. बाकी सब एक तरफ and this is एक तरफ. Now, I feel that the hardest thing that you have to do is to make things look easy.
Correct.
तो ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो बहुत हार्ड वर्क करते हैं और लोगों को दिखता है कि वो लोग बहुत हार्ड वर्क करते हैं, एंड आई फील कि मेरा बहुत एफर्ट जाता है टू मेक इट लुक लाइक आई कैन डू दिस इन अ कैजुअल वे, सो दैट आई एम नॉट टेकिंग अ स्ट्रेस ऑन इट. मतलब मैं ड्रामा नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि देखो मैं ये सब कर रहा हूँ. ये शुरुआत हुआ मेरे एमडी रेसिडेंसी में, जब सब लोग बोलते थे कि एमडी रेसिडेंसी इतना डिफिकल्ट है, तुमको बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं मिलेगा. एंड आई यूज्ड टू टेक दैट पर्सनली. आई वाज लाइक ऐसे कैसे टाइम नहीं मिलेगा. एंड आई यूज्ड टू टेक आउट वीकेंड्स एंड आई यूज्ड टू गो एंड डू सम पोएट्री रीडिंग समवेयर, just to make it a point that our time is ours. Nobody else can claim that they can control your time. So I've always been somebody who believes in making a gesture to yourself. You don't have to prove it to anybody else. But when somebody says that doctors can't do other things, I take that shit personally. And I have literally gone out of my way to get out of my comfort zone just to prove to myself that aisa nahi hai. So for the longest time, it was not about showing it to other people. It was just मेरे लिए, खुद के लिए.
So you're saying ये जो सब आप कर रहे हो अभी, this is all out of a challenge that you self took on yourself. Like ऐसे कैसे डॉक्टर सब नहीं कर सकते? All of this has just been like मेरा ये personal challenge बन चुका है. I took it very seriously now.
It honestly, dude, it started like that, and even today there is a component of it which is still that. I always think to myself that what else can you do? If you've taken on so much, what else can you do? But now I feel ki it has its negative effects also.
Correct. You want to elaborate on it?
You know something, sometimes you realize that you need to commit to something to really see it grow. So if you keep on switching things, then you can, वो एक मोमेंट आता है जब आपको बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि देखो मैं क्या क्या कर रहा हूँ, मैं मल्टीटास्कर हूँ, आई एम अ पॉलीमैथ. ये सब वर्ड्स है जस्ट टू मेक योरसेल्फ फील गुड कि आप बहुत सारी चीजें कर रहे हो. बट अगर आपको कोई एक चीज को कंप्लीशन तक देखना है, सो देन यू हैव टू अलाउ योरसेल्फ टू बी बोर्ड ऑफ इट. आप उस पर फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाओगे, आप थक जाओगे वो कर करके, तो ही आप वो एक स्टेज पे पहुंचोगे जब आप खुद को एक्सेलेंस मानोगे, लाइक यू हैव रीच्ड एक्सेलेंस इन दैट थिंग. So for me, the only thing I've reached excellence in is medicine, because it took me 15 years.
Correct.
But the other things I keep switching because I find it fun. Like I feel like, chalo abhi thoda live streaming karte hain, chalo video banate hain, chalo music karte hain, because it's entertaining to me. Now I have reached that stage where I don't want to be entertained anymore. I want to achieve excellence in something else.
Wow. So, which is why you take the streaming part also now so seriously, 100%. Right?
100%. 2022 is the year where I take YouTube as seriously as I take medicine.
Wow.
So far it was like I'm a doctor and this is a hobby.
Correct.
But I feel like if you keep on doing that, you are giving yourself an excuse. Okay, acha chalo, it's not really your job. It's fine. Even if you don't do well, don't give yourself an excuse. Go all in. If you fail, you fail. It's fine. But go all in.
You just said that you don't want to make an excuse of the fact that you're also a doctor. Or when I'm thinking about this statement, it's a very big statement to say. क्योंकि इससे क्या हो रहा है ना, like you start realizing that if you really want to make time for something, you will. Otherwise, the amount of excuses जो हम खुद को देते हैं to not do things, like हमारे दिमाग के अंदर we've conditioned it in a way कि हाँ ये सही है, जो मैं excuse बना रहा हूँ ना ये सही है. But somewhere down the line, as you say, that you can make things happen, right? If like there is a proper amount of dedication and you give it that amount of time.
100%, because I can only do that because I have spent 16 years practicing as a doctor.
Correct.
So now the amount of time it takes for me to focus in the hospital is less. Correct. I can afford to give out more time, and that's also a lifestyle choice. Not every doctor will practice like this. There are doctors who practice 16 hours a day, and that is completely fine. I don't want to do that, so I only practice 4 hours, 6 hours, sometimes 8 hours a day, so that I have some time left to do all the other things that interest me. I mean, dude, even for you, right? When I see your own journey, you have started off as a poet, and then you went into storytelling, but that doesn't mean your poetry is left behind. But because you have spent that much time as a poet, now for you, poetry writing won't take so much time.
Correct.
And now when you're, say, directing a reel, or you're directing a short story, or if you're thinking of going into films, these are all things that will take a long time. It'll take a lot of your attention. Correct. Initially.
बिल्कुल.
तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट का यही होता है कि आपको शुरुआत में वक्त देना पड़ता है, और उससे आप भाग नहीं सकते हो, और आप जितना वक्त शुरुआत में देते हो उतना कम टाइम देना पड़ता है बाद में. I'm sure everybody in the chat would also relate to this.
Today, dude. एकदम ऐसे शुरुआत से एकदम. But हाँ यार, like when I see about this journey, it's still very related है ना, कि acting, poetry, storytelling, the performance aspect of it is very still connected. But with you, it's very different.
Dude.
चैट में सब हैप्पी रिपब्लिक डे विश कर रहे, फिर
कोई
हाय हेलो कह रहा है. मैं एक मिनट नाम ढूंढ लूं. स्नेहलता जोसेफ कह रही है.
Hello, Snehalata.
Siddharth, how are you?
How are you? Always miss you. Oh, that's so sweet, Snehalata. Thank you so much.
But wow, yaar.
Happy Republic Day to everyone. क्या हाल है chat? How are you guys?
यार रिपब्लिक पे मेरे बाहर यहाँ पे गाने बज रहे भाई. अलग सोसाइटी के अंदर कुछ अलग ही ट्रिप चल रही है. मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा. ये लोग ने एमी में बंटाई बजा लिया. ब्राउन मुंडे हर चौथा गाना ब्राउन मुंडे बज रहा है. मैं कहा ये कैसे कर रहा है भाई.
इधर मेरे बिल्डिंग के सामने जो सोसाइटी है, वहां पे तो पोकर टूर्नामेंट चल रहा है. आई एम थिंकिंग ये कौन सा रिपब्लिक डे का नया ट्रेडिशन लेके आए यार लोग.
भाई साहब, रिपब्लिक डे को लोग अपनी जायदादें उड़ा रहे हैं भाई. ये हद हो गई. Oh, bhai sahab. Anyway, I think we've got a few topics, and I want to keep coming back to this discussion of us, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है there is a lot of rus in this conversation also. किसी ने एक सवाल पूछा था कि can we talk about relationships in our late 20s and how they are fine, acceptable. Let's talk about love in older age, like in late 20s.
What the hell is older age in late 20s? Like what the hell is that? I mean, I want you to block that person who asked that question and said late 20 is old.
Like, जब तक ये था ना कि let's talk about love in late 20s, I was like, yeah, मैं older age में कह रहे हूँ. Triggered.
I feel like I should just go to an old age home and sit there. Like what?
It's like क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं इतनी देरी से प्रेम.
Oh man. So this is one thing that I've noticed. People in their 20s,
correct,
or people in their late teens, okay,
correct,
because a lot of people in their 20s are doing crazy awesome stuff. वो पूरा जो comparison level है वो नीचे shift हुआ है. So when I was 20, I would be looking up to people who are in their 30s and 40s, because that is the age group when they would have achieved something incredible. Now with the whole world changing and startups and all of that, it's like 25 तक अगर आपका एक startup बिका नहीं है तो तुम life में कर क्या रहे हो?
Exactly.
It's not true, of course, but वो एक feeling आ जाता है, वो pressure आ जाता है, और फिर सब कुछ हम लोग को 25 तक खत्म करना है. Like you need to have a relationship, you need to have your startup, you need to have घर, गाड़ी, सपना, बच्चे, सब कुछ 25 तक खत्म करना है. But Life is very long. Life is very, very long. So late 20s is not old. Okay, please stop saying that.
I like how the question was, let's talk about love in late 20s, and we just talk about एक मिनट रुको, पहले तो बुढ़े नहीं है वो.
Exactly.
पहले तो ये मिसकंसेप्शन हटा लेते हम. बट हाँ यार, आई थिंक वो पता है, हम जब कहते थे ना मिड लाइफ क्राइसिस, सबसे पहले 35 की एज में मिड लाइफ क्राइसिस आता था. ठीक है, क्योंकि 70 वाज द एवरेज दैट अ पर्सन वुड लिव, राइट. अब मिड लाइफ क्राइसिस लोगों को 25 में आ रहा है. लोग 20 में मिड लाइफ क्राइसिस जैसे शब्द इस्तेमाल कर रहे. नॉट जस्ट बिकॉज कि एज वाला एवरेज गिर चुका है, बट बिकॉज हमारे आसपास लोगों ने इतना ज्यादा अचीव करना शुरू कर दिया है कि दैट फिल्स अस विद सो मच इनसिक्योरिटी ना. Like how do we progress? Like I remember कल हम Shark Tank देख रहे थे, and one of the contestants must have been like what 19-20 years old, and my sister was just like, अरे ये तो almost मेरी age का है यार, and he's there, he's got a startup, and I realized that ये छोटी छोटी चीजें ना वो चुप जाती है. Like no matter how happy you want to feel about them, there is also a reflection about के तूने अभी तक कुछ नहीं किया है.
Right.
तो यार वो थोड़ा इंटेंस
यही स्कैम है रे, क्योंकि हम लोग को हैप्पीनेस का कोई एब्सोल्यूट कॉन्सेप्ट पता नहीं है.
एग्जैक्टली.
मतलब व्हाट इज अ 19-year-old सपोज्ड टू डू, ऐसा कोई कहीं पे लिखा तो नहीं है. हम लोग तो एक दूसरे से कंपेयर करके ही डिसाइड करेंगे.
बिल्कुल.
तो एक तरफ से ही बहुत अच्छी बात है कि अगर आपका पीयर ग्रुप अच्छा है, if the people that you're hanging out with can inspire you, you will also think of really awesome stuff. But sometimes that can get too much, that can get too overwhelming, and
correct,
anything that overwhelms you and pulls you down is not productive. So as a logical human being, what do you want? You want to keep improving, you want to keep growing. So it is literally like you are at the shopping mall, and there are certain things that you can pick that will help you grow. There are certain things that you can pick that will pull you down. Logic क्या कहता है? Don't pick on the things that will pull you down. Ignore them. Only select things that will pull you up, that will make you grow, that will inspire you. So आजकल that's what I do. Like I quite literally select that these are the people I want to hang out with because they give me inspiration. And anybody who says that you can't do it, you are pulling, मतलब there are whatever it is, any kind of negative thing, you don't want to deal with it. You just have to pay them enough attention to make sure that they are not pointing out some gross mistake you are making. But otherwise, no need. You don't want that negativity.
Yeah, because
I'm not talking of love. I'm just talking of growth.
Correct. Because it's like a quicksand effect ना, कि पैर एक बार डाल दिया अपने अंदर तो अंदर ढलते ही चले जाओगे. And the more you struggle with the fact that there is so much for you to do, and like the whole overthinking bit that comes in के मतलब यार मैं कुछ नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, look at me, where am I, and these are constant questions that keep hitting you, right? Like मैं कुछ नहीं कर रहा है is a broad question, but when you are alone in your own room and you're looking in the mirror, right, मतलब it's a नहाने के बाद जो एक आप मिरर में देखते हो ना, like अभी एकदम ऐसे 20 मिनट तक नहाया है ओवर थिंकिंग की वजह से, आप आईने में आकर देखते हो और आप अपने पूरे शरीर को देखते हो और आपको अपनी शरीर से कुछ ऐसे गुस्सा आ जाता है कि या तो मैं मोटा हूँ, कितना पतला हूँ, मैं नाटा हूँ, लंबा हूँ, लोग ऐसे चिढ़ाते हैं, मैं अपनी जिंदगी में क्या कर रहा हूँ. और ये इतने स्पेसिफिक टॉन्ट्स है ना दैट यू डोंट वांट पीपल टू से, बट आर द सेम टॉन्ट्स दैट यू टेल योरसेल्फ.
Which is so ironic because do you know why showers feel good?
Why?
Like in general, everybody must have noticed कि वो जो shower के अंदर का जो feeling होता है वो अलग ही होता है.
Right.
And sometimes you can really get lost in your thoughts when you're in the shower. So showers are actually one of the only times when your entire body is getting stimulated at the same time. Like constantly stimulated. The other time probably would be when you're swimming. But showers are different क्योंकि वो stimulation continuous नहीं है, वो आता जाता है. Like every drop is a new stimulation. So it is quite literally like your entire body is getting touched together, And so your brain goes into this zone of sensory overstimulation. And then once there is sensory overstimulation, it just blocks out all your senses. And at that moment, it is like a liberating time where your thoughts can actually explore places where you couldn't have explored because your senses keep interrupting.
Wow.
It's an insane concept. So this is the reason why so many times people are just standing in the shower. Kuch nahi kar rahe, wo naha nahi rahe. They're not using soap, nothing. They're just under the shower and they're letting, that's it. Because they're actually in a meditative zone. Because that is what meditation is. Meditation क्या होता है कि आप अगल बगल के senses को हटाओ, कुछ सुनना नहीं, कुछ देखना नहीं, कुछ, you are not distracted by anything and your thoughts are just flowing. So shower is the closest thing to meditation that most people have experienced. और वो meditative zone से आप जब बाहर निकलते हो, तो you are literally vulnerable. And at that moment, when you look into the mirror, quite literally your deepest fears or your deepest thoughts would come out. It's amazing. Like everybody goes through this. Yeah.
It's like a stab effect. Like वो time पर जब छुरा भोगोगे खुद को तो सबसे deep wound लगेगा तुम्हें.
Right. Right. Tell me this, dude. Is anybody truly happy with the way they look?
I don't think so.
I sometimes talk to even people who are extremely good looking. So many times when you have a really close conversation with them, there are so many insecurities. In fact, the more good looking they are traditionally appearing, the harder they have worked to get there. And so the more they will notice the smallest of flaws in them.
Correct. And it also goes with the fact कि मतलब मैं इस शरीर के साथ इतना वक्त गुजार रहा हूँ ना, तो जब आप देखते हो तो आप सिर्फ चमड़ी देख सकते हो, बट मुझे पता है कि where are my wrinkles, right? Like वो कमर के पास आते हैं ना love patches को, क्या कहते हैं उसको, love angles. So you know exactly your flaws physically also because you literally see them every day, right? और it doesn't have to even be a big flaw. बहुत बार लोगों को अपने तिल पसंद नहीं आते कि मेरे चेहरे पे ये तिल यहाँ पर है, तो वो चिढ़ता है.
Right.
But you get it, right? So when you are meeting me, or even like per se, like as an attractive person, जैसे हम societal norm में कहते हैं, like जितना सुंदर इंसान हम कहते हैं ना, और हम उन्हें कहते हैं कि you know you're so pretty, they go back home thinking why do I not feel the same the way I have been told, right? क्योंकि 100 लोग आके मुझे कह रहे कि मतलब तुम कितनी सुंदर दिख रही हो, तुम कितने handsome हो, but they go back home and they know what the flaws are physically and it disturbs them. So I think the more time you spend with something, you identify flaws in it, or you find, like, you create flaws in it.
Right. This is something called body dysmorphia, and it is impossible to correct. Initially, it's impossible to correct, just like saying, nahi, nahi, you look good. It's not that easy because that fear or that distortion is so deep down that they actually need therapy. Right. So this is actually a triggering topic. So I should give a trigger warning. You know, if somebody who is listening is feeling anything like this, then first of all, understand that, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. There are people who do feel this. And second, do talk to a counselor. It will help you because the reasons for this are multiple. So, you know, it will definitely help you if you are somebody who goes through body dysmorphia, and it is quite common. It is there and it works both ways. You know, you think that, oh, people who are overweight will feel it, but people who are very thin also feel that. And it's just unhappiness with the way you look.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I used to be much more slimmer than what I am right now. Correct. Like right now, I still have a body that's averagely fine. मतलब पहले मैं बहुत पतला हुआ करता था और उसके ऊपर जितना लोगों ने चिढ़ाया है, वो जो हम कहते थे माचिस, लकड़े की डंडी, ये सारी चीजें थी. Like, of course, not these terms were used, but I was reminded about how slim I look and how weird it is when I stand with different people of different postures and body types. Like वो identify
Chipkali was
होता
a
है वहाँ
word
पे?
famous in my school for
क्या?
somebody who's very thin.
Which word?
Chipkali.
चिपकली. हमारे में था सुकड़ा. सुकड़ा.
Oh yeah.
एंड लाइक सुकड़ा इज स्टिल अ वर्ड के मतलब हाँ पतले, बट ऐसे बोलते ना कि गाली लगती है, अबे सुकड़े, मैं कहा अरे.
Mm.
बट या
It's
है.
crazy, dude. हमारा हमारा self image is based on so many things. Like at some point किसी relationship में आप थे और उन्होंने एक अच्छी अच्छी बात कह दी कि I love you because of your smile. That is enough to change your whole perspective towards yourself.
यस.
Like उसके पहले, like for example, somebody told me about this mole, okay, and I had never really thought about the mole much, but somebody said that I think the most attractive part of your face is the mole. Now wait, that is not something I have ever thought of, because somebody else said it. Now I'm thinking, okay, not bad, not bad.
या
This is not so. We are so fragile, dude. Like our self-image is so fragile. It's funny.
फ्रेजाइल डूड, कसम से बिस्किट की तरह टूट जाता है डूड, मतलब वो. और इट्स आल्सो अबाउट विच स्टेट ऑफ माइंड यू आर इन. अगर तुम जॉली जोन में रहोगे ना, तो जिस तरीके से कम्युनिकेट किया है तुम उसी तरीके से एक्सेप्ट कर लोगे कि हाँ बढ़िया व्हाटएवर, और यू विल जस्ट टेक इट एंड इट गोज बैक ऑफ द माइंड. बट कभी कभार व्हेन यू आर इन दैट स्टेट कि मतलब कुछ भी आके चोटिल पहुंचा सकता है आपको, तब आके ना ये बुलेट की तरह लग जाता है कि अरे दिस इज द मोस्ट अट्रैक्टिव पार्ट, लाइक तो बाकी सारे चेहरे का क्या करूं फिर मैं.
Have you noticed this crazy thing of how you look better to yourself immediately after a gym workout or after a
Yes.
run?
Yes. Yes.
And suppose you've just had a cheesy Mac burger, and then you look at the mirror, even though your weight is probably the same, you look the same. ऐसा नहीं कि एक दिन में आपका बहुत फर्क होने वाला है. But
Correct.
just the way you perceive yourself is different because the chemicals in your body are different.
Is it also about the
Yeah.
fact कि मतलब it's about the work to the proportion of you seeing yourself, कि जैसे अब मैंने मेहनत की है, I worked out, right? तो अब मैं खुद को देखता हूँ तो I feel like मैंने मेहनत की यार, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अरे बाइसेप्स आ गई, ये आ गया.
थोड़ा सा है, but it's actually about the endorphins in your body.
Right.
तो जितना endorphins है आपके body में, उतना you will find yourself better looking. Quite literally, you will think that you are thinner. You will think that your body is more structured. You'll
Right.
think that मतलब आपको दिखेगा, ऐसा नहीं कि it's just a thought. You will feel like यार मेरा ड्रेस तो मस्त फिट हो रहा है, मेरा टी शर्ट मस्त फिट हो रहा है. एंड देन एक आधे घंटे के बाद आप बर्गर खाओ और फिर देखो सडनली आपको पॉन्च दिखेगा, आपको लगेगा कि यार आज why am I not dieting more. तो बहुत फर्क पड़ता है on your body chemistry कि आपका perception क्या है. People have done this study of self-image before and after sex, and then self-image after sex is actually better.
मैं वही कहने वाला था. I felt like after sex it would be better.
Yeah, because the endorphins are more in your body.
मतलब I don't know the science part of it. I always thought about it that, you know, before sex you're always stressed and you have this fear कि, you know, is this person going to accept, and
Right.
when they see me all bare, will they be fine with it? तो उनके reaction पे सब depend करता है, right? But sex के time पे वो सब इतना observation नहीं है जितना आपका moment पे. तो after the whole act you feel like oh they accepted me,
Yeah.
right? The whole bare me. तो आप खुश हो जाते हो अंदर से कि like, because also like now that I understand the science part of it, but I always used to think about it कि the act sort of like gives you this confidence in your body that there is acceptance from another person without being taunted about it.
100%. For sure. Like that's all you need. You need somebody to see you naked and be like, you are okay. I mean,
Description में sex pro tips.
like at the end of the day, हम लोग बहुत कम चीजें चाहते हैं, but yeah, this is it. This is not much.
ओ भाई
भाई कहाँ तक पहुंच गए यार.
दिस प्रूव्स हर चीज घूम फिर के पहुंच जाती है एक टॉपिक पर। Facts.
यार सिर्फ तेरे साथ होता है, ठीक है?
Oh, whoa. I mean, I am narcissist, but don't give me that much bhav right now.
Yeah, dude. Why does everything end with sex with you?
Hi, chat. We would like to take the next topic.
Is it fine not to be? Okay, do you want to take questions?
Yeah.
एक सेकंड ना, मैं दरवाजा बंद करता हूँ। I think थोड़ा आवाज आ रहा है बाहर से।
आराम से। Oh, I think मेरा भी actually मेरा ही बज रहा होगा ये।
Yeah.
Oh, I got this question. Normal soul पूछ रहे हैं। एक तो मैं YouTube के नाम देख कर है ना, मैं बहुत ऐसे ट्रिप कर जाता हूँ भाई, क्या नाम रखते हैं। नॉर्मल सोल है बट उसके नॉर्मल में नो कैप्स लॉक में।
Whoa. So no soul.
I think he
Pretty
also
clever.
realized it with you. But
Pretty clever.
normal soul is asking how to deal with so much positive content on the internet and our variable dopamine release every now and then.
काफी interesting question.
I mean,
So,
यार
yeah, I mean variable dopamine content ही बोल दिया तो मतलब दिल खुश कर दिया यार, लोगों को अगर पता है तो। Very awesome.
ये आपकी क्लास का है।
वही ये मतलब क्लास उधर से इधर आ रहा है। चलो अच्छा है। अच्छा, first of all, what do you instinctively think of when you hear variable dopamine content? Like variable dopamine reward.
यार फॉर मी, मैं अभी हैप्पी वाले मैं पॉजिटिव वाले कंटेंट के साथ रिलेट कर रहा हूँ। लाइक विथ मी एवरी टाइम आई एम हिट विथ पॉजिटिव कंटेंट, मतलब वो होता है ना कि वो मिठाई की तरह है कि पहले दो बाइट्स आप लोगे तो आपको बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, बट इफ यू आर हैविंग इट कंटिन्यूसली देन यू गेट टायर्ड ऑफ इट, राइट? एंड सिस्टम में भी मतलब शुगर लेवल बढ़ता है, प्रोन टू डायबिटीज हो जाओगे, तो इट्स गोइंग टू क्रिएट एरर्स ओनली द मोर यू कंज्यूम इट। और मुझे पॉजिटिव कंटेंट का हमेशा वही लगता है भाई कि मतलब बहुत ज्यादा पॉजिटिव होता है ना कि सब ठीक हो जाएगा। लाइक एंड आई सी इट फ्रॉम अ फेस दैट इफ आई वाज इन अ स्पेस जहां पर आई वाज गोइंग थ्रू अ लॉट ऑफ शिट, है ना, और कोई मुझे बोलता सब ठीक हो जाएगा, आई वुड ब्लास्ट ऑन दैट पर्सन, क्योंकि मुझे पता है एट दिस पॉइंट नहीं हो रहा है ना। लाइक आगे आगे का मत बताओ, ये जो अभी टाइम पीरियड है ये कैसे गुजरने वाला है, राइट? लेट मी कंज्यूम दिस, लेट मी बी कंज्यूम्ड बाय दिस, रिएक्ट टू दिस एंड देन वॉक आउट ऑफ इट। दैट इज द बिगर थिंग हियर। आगे सब ठीक हो जाएगा क्या होता है?
हाँ, तो ये टॉक्सिक पॉजिटिविटी का ये एक प्रॉब्लम है कि इट इज जस्ट लाइक हैमरिंग डाउन गुड फील्स कि नहीं सब ठीक है, सब ठीक है, सब ठीक है।
हाँ
भाई, ये सैडनेस को भी प्रोसेस करना एक पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ होता है। यू डोंट हैव टू फील गुड ऑल द टाइम।
एग्जैक्टली।
The best example of variable dopamine reward is you're texting somebody, say you're texting a girl, and एक बार बहुत अच्छा कॉन्वर्जेशन हो गया और फिर दो बार उसने सीन पे छोड़ दिया तुझे, and then fourth time बहुत अच्छा कॉन्वर्जेशन हो गया। Now fifth time what will you do? The thing is that you are not certain whether she will respond or not.
Correct.
But she responded 2 times out of 4. So there is an uncertainty now. And very, very often it is that uncertainty that brings you back to that whatever is that stimulus, whatever is you're chasing, कि वो uncertain है. Whereas अगर हर बार वो response आता है, so to our limbic system कि अच्छा हाँ ठीक है, ये तो dopamine पक्का है, तो मेरा interest level कम हो गया. Now the counter argument is that हम लोग लिम्बिक से नहीं सोचते हर बार. Of course, from a prefrontal cortex level, अगर आपका सही में connection हो गया किसी के साथ, and you are finding yourself at another level of conversation with them, you will want to talk to them all your life. वो तो अलग है. But वो जो limbic level है, emotional level है, वहां पे dopamine, variable dopamine काम करता है. तो अभी इसमें हम लोग अगर बोल रहे हैं कि YouTube कंटेंट में पॉजिटिव ज्यादा हो रहा है, तो देन इट इज एग्जैक्टली लाइक दैट कि हर बार अगर आप जा रहे हो और आपको एग्जैक्ट सेम फीलिंग आ रही है, तो देन यू विल नॉट रियली गो. बट इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. आपका हर वीडियो आपको इक्वली एक्साइट नहीं करती. तो इट इज दैट इज व्हाई वो ऊपर नीचे जाती है. एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू कीप ऑन सर्चिंग कि अच्छा अगला वीडियो मस्त रहेगा, अगला वीडियो अच्छा रहेगा, और 3 में से एक वीडियो बहुत अच्छा लगेगा आपको. दैट इज वेरिएबल डोपामाइन कंटेंट.
फिर that leads you to watch more 3 videos.
करेक्ट.
Again, it's like that poker कि एक गेम जीत गए तो you are like कि now I can play more 3 games.
Yeah.
That rush.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because that uncertainty is there. It is that uncertainty that gives you that feeling of कुछ भी हो सकता है.
कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Oh, कुछ भी हो सकता है is what keeps you motivated.
I don't know कौन सा सीरियल था यार कुछ भी हो सकता है, मुझे ऐसे याद क्यों नहीं आ रहा, but like it was like a big host something.
अच्छा.
हाँ. But
कुछ भी हो सकता है it should be a sequel to कुछ कुछ होता है.
कुछ Anjali, juice, Rahul, juice. Dude, that part gets me always till date भाई. मतलब वो meme है मेरे दिमाग के अंदर. People don't even remember when that patch comes, but वो मेरे दिमाग में बैठा हुआ है. कैसे शाहरुख खान ऐसे ट्रैक पर भाग रहा है और रानी मुखर्जी नहीं, सॉरी, काजोल आके ऐसे ऑरेंज जूस राहुल जूस. What? बहुत ट्रिप है भाई.
Now that is not variable reward, okay? क्योंकि राहुल was like काजोल तो रहेगी पक्का.
Correct.
But वो जब चली जाती है तब वेरिएबल होता है क्योंकि पता नहीं वो रहेगी कि नहीं रहेगी.
Oh, this brings me to a great topic. The fact about taking people for granted. But before we go to that, मैं बताना चाहूँगा 150 likes हो गए. Thank you so much, guys. We can reach to 200 likes. Like का बटन दबाते जाइए आप.
Everybody, please make it to 200 right now.
Yes, please. And 9:30 बजे मेरे डिस्कॉर्ड सर्वर पर एक ओपन माइक हो रहा है, तो प्लीज इसके बाद आप वहां पर भी जा सकते हैं. डिस्कॉर्ड सिड, आपने वो सुना है उस ऐप के बारे में?
Okay, I see that you are returning the favor.
Dude, I announced the moment I announced कि तुम आने वाले हो स्ट्रीम पर, मेरी डिस्कॉर्ड वाली टीम कह रही है कि तुम्हारे डिस्कॉर्ड वाले पागल हो जाएंगे. मैंने कहा fair enough, अब तो इस बात का बवाल मचाएंगे.
भाई बहुत सेंसिटिव टॉपिक है. Can we move to something else?
But so
I would like to announce कि कल से मेरे डिस्कॉर्ड में चेस टूर्नामेंट शुरू हो रहा है. And there are some interesting prizes. And I will also be playing, so definitely go check it out.
The next minute, Discord टीम में से कॉलर है, सिड भैया ये क्या बोल दिया, ये तो हमें भी नहीं पता था.
Man.
But great transition to the next topic, taking people for granted.
साला कमीना. Okay, chat, everybody, you should know, okay, याया बहुत प्यारा दिखता है और प्यार के बारे में बोलता है, बट है तो कमीना यार, बहुत ज्यादा कमीना है. Like he knows he's fucking with you. Okay, turn आएगा सबका. Cool.
So I love how you guys draw my personality for the chat and for people, because they look at me in such a different way. They think of me as this sweet person जो हर चीज को एकदम सोच समझ कर like एकदम ऐसे perfect answer दे रहा है. He's not like an loud personality, एकदम ऐसा हंसी मजाक नहीं करता होगा. And then you guys just come and is like, you don't know when he's fucking around with you. He's always fucking around with you.
Yeah, I think याया एक्सपोज्ड करके एक वीडियो निकालना चाहिए अपने को. आई थिंक वो 2022 का एक प्लान है. चलो, याया एक्सपोज्ड का वीडियो आने वाला है.
आई एम नॉट कमिंग टू ओवरनाइट्स विद यू एनीमोर. क्या मालूम वीडियो रिकॉर्ड कर रहे होगे.
याया ओपी डूड, कम ऑन, ऑफ कोर्स.
भाई सिड ओपी आल्सो. एफएफएफ क्यों आ गया? अच्छा.
Okay. Taking people for granted has nothing to do with Discord. We are talking about love and we are talking about relationships.
Or just people in general, friendships.
People in.
Yeah.
Sure. मैं शुरू नहीं कर रहा हूँ, तू शुरू कर.
Okay, Sid. This so definite is a yes only. Have you taken people for granted in your life? पहले आप हाँ या ना बोल दो, मुझे श्योरिटी तो है हाँ की.
I have.
Right now, I think that it comes from a space that you feel you're so secured with this person that now you, even if you don't give them your time or you don't give them the amount of love that started your relation, है ना, तब भी चल जाएगा. वो होता है ना कि क्योंकि गाड़ी अभी पेट्रोल पे चल रही थी तो आपने पूरा उतार लिया जितना पेट्रोल था. अब आप कह रहे हो कि रिजर्व टैंक पे भी चली जाएगी. लाइक आप पेट्रोल नहीं भरवा रहे हो अब इस रिश्ते में. यू आर लाइक अब ये गाड़ी चलती जाएगी, कोई स्ट्रेस नहीं है. यू आर टेकिंग द रिजर्व टैंक फॉर ग्रांटेड कि इसमें से जितना निकल सकता है निकाल देंगे. बट उसमें क्या होता है कि बहुत बार द अदर पर्सन एंड योर कम्युनिकेशन प्लेज अ बिग पैच, राइट, कि बहुत बार क्या होता है कि सामने वाला इंसान वो देख पाता है कि वो डिफरेंस क्रिएट होते जा रहा है. कि पहले यू आर द पर्सन यू दे वुड ऑलवेज कॉल, राइट, और यू वुड ऑलवेज कॉल व्हेन यू आर इन नीड. 2-2 बजे कॉल करके सारी बातें उनसे शेयर करोगे, सब कुछ उन्हें बताओगे, यू मेक देम फील स्पेशल. सडनली यू
कैमरा लेके रखा है क्या मेरे रूम में? इतना सच बताने की जरूरत नहीं होता. What the hell, dude?
सडनली यू स्टॉप, लाइक, और वो भी ऐसे नहीं कि डायरेक्टली 2 बजे का कॉन्वर्सेशन 1 बजे तक, चल नींद आ रही है, चल आज बहुत थकान भरा दिन था, फिर एक दिन चुभन वाली बात कर दोगे कि आज उसके साथ वक्त गुजार रहा था इसलिए लेट हो गया एंड नाउ आई एम टायर्ड. Now धीरे धीरे you start making another person priority because you are so excited by a new person in your life. So you're like, oh, I want to spend time with this person, I want to know them and tell them everything from the beginning, right? वो जो एक तरीका होता है ना कि मैं सब कुछ शुरुआत से बताने वाला हूँ, वो जो एक्साइटमेंट और खुशी है कि सेम इंसिडेंट पे ये इंसान हंसेगा, तो उस मजे में you start sort of, I think ignoring would be the right word. कि आप भूलना शुरू करते हो उस इंसान को.
बता दे अभी, मेरा पूरा लाइफ ही बता दे ना. क्या यार, ट्रिगर कर दिया. No, but this is absolutely true, and I'm sure that everybody who is listening would also have experienced something like this.
Correct.
The couple of lessons that I learned is that जो गाड़ी खरीदने का जो एनर्जी है, आप अगर उससे कंपेयर करोगे तो पेट्रोल डालने का एनर्जी कितना कम होता है.
Correct.
तो सबसे पहले तो ये याद रखना चाहिए कि भाई पेट्रोल डाला करो कार में, बिकॉज इमेजिन द एफर्ट ऑफ बाइंग अ न्यू कार, or imagine the effort of repairing a car that has broken down. It will take so much more time and energy, but at that time you don't calculate it because हम लोग का calculation power ही खराब है. तो exactly like you said, हम लोग उसको granted में लेते हैं, गाड़ी पड़ी रहती है गराज में, और फिर 5 साल के बाद पता चलता है कि गाड़ी चलेगी नहीं और अपने को गराज में जाके लेके जाना पड़ेगा या गाड़ी को फेंक देना पड़ेगा. And that is heart breaking. So पहले से ही हम लोग को डिसाइड करना चाहिए कि आपका कौन सा फ्रेंडशिप है जो आपको वैल्यूएबल है, कौन से गाड़ी में आपको ध्यान देना है. क्योंकि शुरुआत में यू विल हैव लॉट्स ऑफ कार्स एंड देन नॉट ऑल ऑफ देम आर इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट टू यू. लेकिन एक बार एटलीस्ट खुद से बैठ के बात करो, ऑनेस्टली बात करो कि कौन सा गाड़ी अगर खराब हो गई तो आपको दिल से बुरा लगेगा. और एक बार वो आपने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया तो आपके मन में भी एक क्लैरिटी आएगा कि चलो ये रिलेशनशिप्स को मुझे मेंटेन करना ही है, नो मैटर व्हाट.
करेक्ट.
एंड देन यू हैव टू पुट इन टाइम. द सिली थिंग इज इट टेक्स सो लिटिल. You know, it's not a lot of effort. It is just showing somebody that you care and telling happening in your life, because they're also empathetic, they also understand nobody is evil.
True.
But sometimes you are the evil person because you ignore them, and बाद में बहुत बुरा लगता है यार, बहुत, मतलब I can't tell you how much. इतना बुरा लगता है because you never think you are that person.
Yeah.
And so you just, better if you put in time and energy initially trying to save that car.
It also comes from this place जहाँ पर like the measurement is always the time जब आपकी दोस्ती बस शुरू हुई थी तो आप कितना वक्त एक साथ गुजारते थे, right? उसके अंदर, because when you meet a person you are so obsessed with the with spending time with them, right? क्योंकि दे आर न्यू फॉर यू आर न्यू फॉर देम, तो एक एक्साइटमेंट है यार कि अरे यार तू बेस्ट है भाई, तो उसके साथ लंबी बातें हो रही है, फिर मिलने के प्लान्स बने जा रहे हैं, और उसके अंदर यू स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग अ वेरी डीप बॉन्ड, राइट? बट द मोमेंट वो हैंगओवर उतरता है, एंड यू स्टार्ट रियलाइजिंग के बिकॉज यू वेंट इन टू फास्ट इन दिस, राइट, यू वेंट रियल फास्ट इन दिस, तो धीरे धीरे जब वो हैंगओवर उतरता है तो सामने वाला कहता है कि अरे क्या हुआ, अब तुम उतना वक्त क्यों नहीं गुजार रहे हो, एंड यू डोंट हैव अ राइट एक्सप्लेनेशन टू गिव. So which is why I feel like even when you're entering a new relation, the idea shouldn't be like let's go fast, right? Take your time, just pace things up in a way jahan par you don't give them everything at once and then have nothing to offer, or have like, or you start getting bored of the fact कि अब मैं इसके साथ ही वक्त गुजार रहा हूँ types.
Like this honeymoon period is valid for every relationship. It's not just marriage.
I swear.
So we have to count that honeymoon period का principle in your calculation. क्योंकि जो भी आप नए मिलोगे, like it could be a friend, it could be a relationship, whatever. It could be sexual, non-sexual, like none of that matters. Correct. The thing is that honeymoon period is valid for everything. You are going to like them a lot more in the initial few days or weeks. And then uske baad you will start understanding them more and more, and you will start getting their patterns. तो जब नया pattern आता है तो naturally हमारे दिमाग में इतना excitement आता है, क्योंकि if suppose you and I have started talking just now, you will say certain things about friendships, about life, about your experiences that will open up my world. Correct. Because I will be like, fuck, मैंने ऐसा कभी सोचा ही नहीं था. And मेरे अंदर से इतना, मतलब I will feel so happy because I will feel like I've discovered a new way of living. But after 3 months, what new thing are you going to tell me that will blow my mind like that? Correct. And at that time, I might meet Aman. And so that's.
But once you go back to Aman, you will realize that nahi yahi chahiye.
That is.
I think if I wanted to sum this up, I think the best way to sum this up would be that the people you're obsessed with now are the people you will get bored of tomorrow. So you need to find what you love about them, because that in the long run is going to keep you attached and this bond strong.
Yeah. The only sure way I feel of making sure that that person is going to remain in your life is if you have projects together.
Which is why college friendships are so strong when they are in college, because there's a constant challenge or there is a constant thing that you guys are doing together.
Correct. There is something that you and that person will have to work together to achieve. Correct. And then you can see it grow. Like that could be a homework project, that could be a football team, or that could be a baby. Which is why a lot of marriages work because of the baby, because it is a common project that those two people have to do together. I'm being very cynical, but that's true.
I can literally imagine this conversation in my mind. Like 4 years in the marriage, the husband and wife are like, divorce to nahi kar sakte, bachcha kar lete hain. Just a common project that will help us.
Do you know the number of times that line would have been said in this country by some mom or some aunt to a young couple? कि तुम बच्चा कर लो सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
Pretty sure.
भाई हर घर में एक बार तो बोला गया होगा, बच्चा कर लो सब ठीक हो जाएगा. What are they saying? Like, if you translate it, what are they saying? Come create a project together where both of you have to work together to see it grow.
Yeah.
So in like 10 years, people will find out that, you don't have to have a baby. You can just create a startup together, start a company together, like whatever. You need to have common interest. You need to have common goals. And that is one way where you can make sure that you are still in touch. You are still going together. So that's what, like when I speak to some of my oldest friends, I've found that as soon as I start discussing with them and asking their opinion on something that I am doing now, the conversation goes so much better because they're involved, right?
Right.
and I want to be involved in their life. There has to be a common ground. क्योंकि जब बहुत पुराने दोस्त होते हैं ना, तो हम लोग का lives can go very apart. Like what we were doing then and what we are doing now is very different.
Of course.
So what is the connection between you?
और आप कितनी बार वही कॉन्वर्सेशन करोगे कि तुझे पता है कॉलेज के वो दिन, तुझे पता है ये टाइम, तुझे पता है वो टाइम. Like at some point you need that, as you said, the new project where they also feel involved, and that also teases them in a way कि oh, this is so engaging for me to just hear about and think about.
Right. The difficult part is कि जब ये सबको अगर आप relationship का tag दो तो, like if you are boyfriend and girlfriend, then अगर थोड़ा भी drift apart हुआ तो लोग threaten हो जाते हैं. लोगों को लगता है कि अच्छा इतना भी drift apart हुआ तो अभी तो breakup ही करना पड़ेगा. You and I are not the same. कितने बार होता है कि you are not the person I fell in love with. Like of course I'm not the person you fell in love with. If I was, that means that in the last 5 years I have not grown at all. That's not what any of us want. We want to grow, but we want to, yeah,
which is worse if you've not grown in the past 5 years.
Exactly. Like a worse thing would have been you are exactly the person I fell in love with. Like, are you मतलब कर क्या रहे हो?
वैसा ही है यार. But
you don't want that. You want your partner to keep growing. You want to keep growing because that is life. And the whole challenge of the relationship is that can you still communicate in the same way? That's about it.
Fair enough. Dhairya Bharti is saying, Sid, yeah, your back to basic stream are very motivating and give an answer to a lot of questions.
Thank you. So my studio is under renovation, but then I promise I'll be back to streaming once a week from next week for the rest of the year. That's just something I'm putting out there.
अब आप वादा कर चुके हैं, अब आप मुकर
बोल
नहीं
दिया
सकते.
या के अनफिल्टर्ड में मैंने बोल ही दिया फाइनली. चलो.
But it's good, yaar. It's good how you're taking this in stride and you want to do this. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. Commitment करना चाहिए लाइफ में.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Commitment.
बोल तो देता है हाँ, लेकिन
भाई साहब
मतलब इतना कौन टूर में जाता है unless you're running away from something.
I'm not. I'm running, like I'm trying to find something that I feel like I can invest in with myself.
So what are you looking for?
Oh, we are getting on that. Yeah, I think I'm looking for a person who understands different sides of me, right? Because I'm a lot of different personalities in this one person. जैसे you guys have seen one personality that's loud, fun, जैसे narcissist बहुत बार हो जाता है, अपनी मस्ती में है, एक बहुत ऐसे deep philosophical बंदा है, but there are other shades also, right? And I find it that the more people I feel, there is so much difficulty that I have in opening up. I realize that I will have a difficulty in opening up because मैं वो देखता हूँ and I feel like कि नहीं accept कर पाएंगे. और जब एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं मिलेगा तो फिर वो रिश्ता कैसे मैं रख सकता हूँ जिसके अंदर आई कैन नॉट बी हु आई एम. सो आई वांट टू बी इन अ रिलेशनशिप वेयर आई कैन बी हु आई एम एंड आई विल डू व्हाटएवर इट टेक्स टू मेक दैट हैपन, कीप इट एज अ कांस्टेंट इन माय लाइफ बिकॉज आई नो इट्स रेयर टू हैपन.
It would probably be the hardest job you've ever had to do. Because like that's what I've seen in relationships where people, what you're basically saying is that you don't want to compromise on who you are.
Correct.
And to not compromise on who you are means that everything else you have to work so much harder at.
Correct.
And I've tried this and I have failed multiple times and I'm still trying, but it is a crazy project to have. It's a difficult project to have.
Let's see, inshallah.
Inshallah, the boys will play well.
boys will play well. But देखते चैट क्या कह रही है. This feels so personal. You both are hearts. सुकृति का मैसेज था, यहाँ मेरी एक्सपर्टीज है, इतना टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड लिया गया है, क्या ही बता. ओ भाई. आयुष शर्मा कह रहे हैं अगर तुम साथ दो प्लीज रिसाइट. अगर तुम साथ दो क्या है? अगर तुम साथ हो, बट दैट इज स्टिल.
Is that a poem you've written?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Feels like I will now.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a poem you should write.
Yeah. प्रियांशी बेदवाल पूछ रही है, how do you believe in your dreams when you have failed many times? All right then. Hi खुशी.
Wow.
Hi खुशी चक्रवर्ती. कैसे सब? Yes, please. हाँ. How do you
believe in your dreams
when you failed multiple times?
So this is a very personal take, but I don't think you need to believe in your dreams. I think you need to believe in yourself. Your dreams are suggestions that your life gives you. They are not commands, and they are not your identity. So quite literally, it's like you are at a restaurant and a waiter is coming to you with a list of dreams saying, can I interest you in this dream? Can I interest you in this dream? And at different points in time, you will select different things saying, हाँ चलो आज मैं ये dream try करता हूँ. Now, if that dream doesn't work out, that is not a reflection on you.
Correct.
You are somebody who likes to try out different dreams and see what happens. So, in fact, the more dreams that don't work out, it means that
Sid has dropped from this call. Hello.
Hello? Yeah, what happened?
You just dropped.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I drop and come back? Okay.
Yeah, थोड़ा लैग हो रहे थे और उसके बाद आप गायब ही हो गए.
Wow. Okay. That is exactly how you also exited on our last stream.
I was hungry, Sid. I was hungry. And for your kind information, I came back.
You did come back. But then so did I, dude. So did I.
Yeah. But please continue.
Yes,
it's like a menu card where you can select your dreams. It's not a command, it's a choice.
It's not a command. Exactly. So if you are somebody who has multiple dreams, don't think that each and every dream has to be tasted and parceled and taken home and इसके बाद मैं वही dream खाऊंगा. ऐसा नहीं है. You are free to try out different dreams, because when you say dare to dream, it doesn't mean dare to fulfill all your dreams. So give your brain the luxury of creating more and more dreams, and you can just sit back and decide, अच्छा मेरे पास 12 ड्रीम है, इसमें से मैं ये ट्राई करूंगा और ये ट्राई करूंगा और देखते हैं क्या होता है. So that's how I think of it.
But what if like a person is, and I'm using the word obsessed, right? I'm using the word obsessed in the way that what if a person is obsessed with one of their dreams, what they feel like यही है मेरा goal. Then what is the route? Because अब वो हो गया ना कि अब तो हमने मेनू को एकदम ही लिमिट कर दिया.
Correct.
Like we aren't turning pages. We are just like जो है यही है. Like we put our life for that.
Like you've tied up your identity to that.
Correct. Like you can't see yourself doing anything else.
Yeah. And that is a risk. And you have to understand that is a risk. And sometimes the most amazing things can come out of it because you've taken that risk.
Correct.
So for example, when I was studying MBBS, I had thought कि मुझे neurology करना है. And the only way to do neurology was that मुझे medicine करना है. Now the problem is कि Bombay में medicine करना is very difficult because there are only around 100 seats and there are around 1 lakh students giving the exam. Okay. Yeah. So you need to you need to get a rank in that top 100. So that, and I didn't have any alternative choice. It's not like medicine nahi mila to kya karunga. Like I didn't have any other dream. I had only that one dream, and that is a risk. You have to accept that that is a risk. Agar wo nahi hua, to you will have to go through a painful process of changing your identity. Now that is very important. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि तुम्हारा आइडेंटिटी एक बार बन गया तो कभी चेंज ही नहीं होगा. मतलब आइडेंटिटीज आर लाइक क्लोथ्स, यू कैन चेंज इट. यू मे हैव अ फेवरेट ड्रेस, बट ऐसा नहीं कि तुम वही पहन सकते हो. It is a painful process, but you will have to do it. The advantage of dreaming that strongly is that you are motivated like nothing else. So I feel like the only reason I could study for 16 hours a day for 365 days was because I had that dream. Now, at the end of it, agar wo nahi milta mujhe, so I would have to go through a painful process where I realized that doing medicine ek dream tha mera, but now that is not my identity, and my identity will have to be reformed. Just like medicine ek identity jo maine form kiya, वैसे ही मुझे और एक आइडेंटिटी बनाना पड़ेगा, एंड दैट इज गोइंग टू बी डिफिकल्ट, लेकिन देयर इज नो ऑप्शन. सो यू हैव टू टेक अ कॉल. यू वांट दैट एक्स्ट्रा मोटिवेशन दैट कम्स फ्रॉम टेकिंग दैट ड्रीम टू हार्ट, एंड यू जस्ट गो फॉर इट. डरना नहीं चाहिए. आई मीन इट्स जस्ट sounds like a Mountain Dew ad, I know, but then it's true.
It's like पापा आपको मोटिवेट कर रहे हैं ना, बेटा डरो मत तुम यार, डरो मत. It's like learning to cycle and पापा पीछे से कह रहे डरो मत.
Correct, dude. Like it's think of it like this. It's that fear that stops you from dreaming, and if you don't dream, then you will not have that extra motivation. Right. So you can take a logical decision to say that I will dream because I want that extra motivation, and I accept the risk. It's like I sign that agreement saying that I accept the risk that if my dream doesn't work, then I will have to go through a painful transition of identity. And only if you're ready to do that, should you ever allow yourself to dream that powerfully.
I completely agree with you on this one. Like my only difference here is that I choose to take that risk because I feel like if I'm divided on the fact that, you know, I can have different dreams and goals, I will give up quick. And the moment you give up quick, like even if you had a possibility in the journey, you will not be able to explore it. But of course, you need to love that thing so much कि मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ कि आप कोई भी जर्नी पर जाओ, उसके अंदर स्ट्रगल तो आपको मिलेगा ही. So you have to choose which struggle you are fine with, even if it's going to be for like a year, 2 years, or more than that. Like you choose your struggle and then don't complain about it. You can of course break down, you can of course talk to your friends, but don't complain about it to the world saying that, you know, I went to this path and I did my best, but it did not happen. क्योंकि क्या है कि जैसे एक्टिंग ले लेते हैं ना, हमारे शहर में बहुत सारे, हमारे देश में बहुत सारे लोगों को एक्टर बनना है, पर रिकॉग्नाइजेबल कितने बनते हैं? करेक्ट, बहुत कम बनते हैं. सो दैट परसेंटेज इज सो स्मॉल. अगर आपको जेन्युइनली देखना है कि कितनी लोग पागलों की तरह इस रेस में मेहनत कर रहे हैं ना, आप आराम नगर की तरफ जाओ, और ये कोविड के पहले लाइन लगती थी एक ऑडिशन के लिए, राइट? एंड दैट वाज नॉट इवन द मेन लीड वाला ऑडिशन, पर लाइन लगती थी. आप ये चेहरों को कभी नहीं देख पाओगे, ये शायद गुमनाम रहेंगे और फिर गायब हो जाएंगे, एंड यू विल नेवर इवन नो अबाउट देयर एग्जिस्टेंस, बट डजंट मीन दे डिडंट पुट हार्ड वर्क. द फैक्ट इज दैट समटाइम्स you are lucky enough and your hard work pays out and you make it.
Yeah.
You also have to accept the fact that if you don't, what is going to be the next step?
Yeah. That is the tricky thing, because I feel like हर एक इंसान के दिमाग में और दिल में एक बड़ा सपने का कैपेसिटी है.
Correct. Yeah.
And that is not what will set you apart.
Right.
क्योंकि I feel like this is common. सबके पास एक ड्रीम का कैपेसिटी है.
Correct.
What sets you apart is the next step. कि what happens when that dream doesn't click? Now, how many people have the capacity to adapt? And that is what decides the layers of success. Because many people think that just because I have a dream qualifies me to achieve it. That is not true. एक सपना सबके पास होता है. But then when you run into a challenge, when that dream collapses for whatever reason, then the actual race starts.
Correct.
And that is how you will differentiate person to person. Now we will say कि नहीं, equality होना चाहिए, सबको एक जैसा मिलना चाहिए, but that is not possible because resources are limited, right? There are only so many seats, there are only so many acting jobs, there are whatever. So at some point somebody has to get it and somebody will not. How do you differentiate that? It is after that first dream collapse. And this is the thing, like, on the one hand, you want to be empathetic. Okay, empathy is very important. So if somebody is suffering or somebody is going through a problem, you need to say that, listen, brother, sister, I understand what you're going through. And let me know how I can help you. I know that this is difficult and all of that. But at the same time, if you say that this is not your fault at all, you have nothing to do with this, it might sound like a kind thing to say, but understand that you're also taking away, if you're taking away all responsibility, you're also taking away all power.
Like that.
And so if I tell somebody that it's not your fault, I am also very subtly telling them that it was never in your control. And so you are helpless all along. And that is not fair.
Yeah, it's worse.
Do not take away someone's power just to make them feel good. So this is why I feel that the modern conversation around empathy, while it is very important, should be associated with empowerment. So don't just empathize, also empower.
Correct. Right. Of course.
So when you tell somebody, follow your dream, it's not toxic positivity. It is that you need to motivate yourself in order to make you push through that challenges. Otherwise, you will find yourself without power, and that you don't want.
That's some powerful stuff, said dude. I love how ये वाला ऐसे बैठे बैठे तुम अपने बैकएंड से निकाल के ऐसे पटक सकते हो. मतलब I love these मतलब एक जैसे तुमने बोला identities like clothes ऐसे फट करके मतलब wow. But that's very true, man. It's very true. Thank you.
What I love is that conversations with you just seem to flow in a way that you don't have to, since you're not worried about मैं कैसे कुछ बोलूं, your whole mind is only about क्या बोलना है. You're fully on that. Like, I'm not stressed out at all about. I actually forgot that we were live streaming for a second. Like, I thought we were just talking. Chat, no offense. I hope you're all having fun.
And then you realize कि यार ऐसा अगर बात करनी तो मिलके करूंगा ना, मैं Zoom कॉल पे क्यों बैठा उसके साथ. मैं एक बार चैट देख लेता हूँ. ऐसा लगना नहीं चाहिए कि हम देख नहीं रहे. Romit Parekh कह रहे, hey, I just want to say that I have been a big fan. Oh, thank you so much, Romit. Sami Singh is seeing us from Bhutan. I hope you are enjoying, Sami. खुशी ने कोई बढ़िया सवाल पूछा है apparently. Oh, Khushi Chakravarti is asking, I wonder why is success defined by having a settled life, like having money or getting married? Why can't success be defined by just the fact that a person is happy and content?
Yeah, it's a good question because traditionally happiness and contentment was associated with safety. Because from where we evolved, because there was so much uncertainty in life, safety was very important. So correct. You don't want to be constantly thinking of mera ghar kidhar hai, who is supporting me, who is looking after my family. You want to feel secure.
Correct.
And that would make you happy. But today the world has changed. Like, those things are taken care of in general, by society. It is taken care of. So now the more safety you have, the more you want to explore. And this is true not just for society, it's also true in a relationship. If you notice, like if somebody is single and who's always in a state of flux, they may feel like, I want a steady girlfriend, or I want a steady boyfriend, I want a steady relationship. But if somebody has been in a relationship for three, yeah, kidhar dekh raha hai?
हाँ क्या personal
But
attack?
if somebody's been a steady relationship for 3 to 4 years, they may feel like, this is getting repetitive. I want to explore. I want to date other people, because now they have safety. Now they want exploration. And when you want, when you are only exploring, then you want safety. So these things sort of go hand in hand. So when Yaya is looking here and there,
हमारे हर एग्जांपल में रिश्ते तो आ ही जाते हैं भाई, रिलेशनशिप आ ही जाते हैं घूम फिर कर.
I think that's like a prerequisite for coming on your channel.
It's the fact that we I think there is no acceptance of boredom. जैसे मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, like you're not fine with the fact that अब ये boring लग रहा है. Because हमें हर टाइम कुछ exciting चाहिए, उसके अंदर कुछ entertaining होना चाहिए, something that you know that you can go and talk about to someone. Like you'll tell your friends when you meet a girl for the first time that, this is what I love about her and this is what is so good between us. But with time, that sort of goes away and you're like, oh, this is not like there are no stories. This is not shareable anymore. And at the same time, internally, you feel like this is a repetitive thing that's happening with you. So, हाँ यार, ये generation वाला भी scene है कि there is no acceptance for boredom or the fact that it is fine if it's monotonous for you.
I have an interesting question.
Okay.
We are a generation, especially the younger generation, we are growing up with calculating happiness with viewership. Like the number of likes, the number of retweets, the number of live stream में कितने लोग देख रहे हैं.
Oh, you disappeared also. Sid.
So, hello?
Sid.
Can you hear me?
All right.
Okay. I think my internet is really misbehaving. Am I back? Hello?
Yeah. Yes, you're back.
Okay, cool. So did you get to hear that?
I heard the main line and then I couldn't hear the example. Okay.
So a generation of people who calculate happiness with viewership. So likes, retweets, live stream में कितने लोग देख रहे हैं, all that. Do you think that a relationship initially is very viewed? सबके नजर में है, कितने लोग बात कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में? Like that song, आजकल तेरे मेरे प्यार के चर्चे हर जगह. So that's how the relationship starts off with. Correct. But as soon as your relationship is stable, steady, शादी हो गई, suddenly people are not talking about you anymore. I wonder if that also plays a role.
Yeah.
In your feeling of boredom, because now you are no longer the center of attention.
I think college में तो for sure, college में वो पूरा concept होता है ना power couple. हाँ.
Right.
जैसे college में पूरा power couple वाला concept होता था ना.
Right.
Like look at them, dude. This is what we aspire to be. ऐसा होना चाहिए relationship. जबकि वो लोग काफी messed up चल रहा है reality में. Like every power couple of college has been the stud boy. Who sort of gotten the person, like again जो जिस बंदी को सारी कॉलेज देख रही होती थी, like perfect, और वो लोग एक दूसरे को mess up कर देते because two alphas in one hood can't work together. So Jennifer is this thing.
Okay, so listen, I think my internet is misbehaving a lot, so I think we can.
हाँ, मैं वही कहने वाला था.
So maybe we can take another question and then wrap up. Like I don't want to get disconnected.
Yeah, I was thinking वो एक last question ले लेते और फिर wrap करते. I love how we thought of the same thing.
Relationship वो level तक पहुंच गई है रे, communication happening.
बस अब लोग हमें सिम करेंगे साथ में. People are like, Yaya and Sid best duo. Oh. And then there are also people who are saying that hum loved 50% of the discussion, no offense. I think we are the best duo when we are not lagging.
Yeah, dude. So this is what happens when there's a communication gap.
All of this just to say one point. कि this is what a communication gap feels like. कि एक person बस बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा है और दूसरा सुन नहीं रहा.
सुन ही नहीं रहा है. I hope that chat really understood a lot of relationship lessons from our
I
conversation.
hope so too. I think this is a good question to wrap the conversation over. Sami Singh is asking how to improve one's mental health, especially when you are at the edge of it, and they basically want like a few encouragement words from us.
Yeah. So my understanding of mental health has changed so much over the last 3 to 4 years. Because earlier on, I used to think of it in terms of psychiatric problems. Like there is healthy and there is unhealthy. And I used to only focus on the unhealthy part, which is depression, anxiety. Like I thought, schizophrenia, autism, these are all different levels of psychiatric problems. And I used to only think of that.
Correct.
In the last 3 years, I've started looking at the healthy part of the spectrum, or people who are not diagnosed with anything. So they are technically healthy, but they go through so much shit. And they don't really know how to deal with it because they are not diagnosed with anything, but they're suffering. And now I have understood that mental health is a spectrum. And there is nothing like healthy and unhealthy. There is only more and less healthy. So at any stage that you are in, don't think of yourself as unhealthy, but think of how can you get healthier. And this applies to everybody. All of us at every stage in our lives, we can always get more mentally healthy. And that is what you should aim in doing. Because the point of all of this, all discussions around health, the key word is reserve. Okay, what does reserve mean? Reserve means कि अगर जैसे immunity की बात करेंगे. Now, if you have good reserve in immunity, what it means is that अगर कोई infection आ गया, तो आपका body उसको handle करेगा and you will be able to move on. But अगर किसी भी कारण से अगर आपका immunity में reserve नहीं है, तो एक छोटा सा सर्दी भी अगर आ गया, तो now you are in bed. Correct. You can't move. You are collapsed. Think of a football team. अगर तुम्हारा starting 11 are awesome, okay, everybody is superb, but आपका कोई reserve नहीं है, तो कोई substitute अगर नहीं है, so it will only take one injury. Yeah. And a crappy team can still beat you. Because that is what reserve means. You need to have reserve of physical health, of mental health, of financial health. And the problem with reserve is that until something goes wrong, you don't even realize that you don't have reserve. Yep. So the reason to go to the gym is not that, you will get a six pack. The reason to go to the gym is that your body needs to be strong enough to handle a problem when it comes. Because every day you won't need to lift 100 kgs. But what if someday suddenly you do need to lift 100 kgs? तभी तुझे टाइम नहीं मिलेगा बॉडी बिल्ड करने को. So you develop it पहले से ही. Similarly, financially, you never know when you will hit a financial crisis. So build your reserve. Similarly, in mental health. So the reason that you meditate, the reason that you think about yourself, the reason that you think about mental health and discipline yourself in your thinking is because you want to build mental reserve. So that when you have a crisis, when your boss says something bad about you, or if you have a breakup or something happens to stress you out, you won't suddenly go into that spiral. You'll be able to handle it. So that's what mental health is.
I've realized now, like with time, because problem kya hai na, we've never grown up in the fashion that we take everyone around us as seriously as we take ourselves, right? So
Yeah.
for us, our problems are the priority, which I understand, because all of us go through this hero syndrome that, you know, this story is ours and everyone else are characters in our story, which is still
Yeah.
fine. But what we don't understand is that everyone is as messed up as us in their own ways, right? Everyone's going through some phase that they cannot deal with, have difficulty in talking about. So when you prioritize your problems over them and you go up and you say things like कि तू कभी नहीं समझेगा कि मैं क्या फील कर रहा हूँ, या तू कभी नहीं समझ पाएगा because you've not seen this stuff, right? आप उनका स्ट्रगल एक तरीके से उनकी नजरों में डिमिनिश कर देते हो.
Right.
And what happens to them ahead is that they start feeling so inferior about their own problems that they think कि नहीं यार, ये जो बोल रहा है ना, ये बड़ी चीज है. I was तो not going through anything. And in the longer run, you feel that there is so much inside you that's, you know, it's like a storm, but you've not learned to recognize it as a storm. So you
Right.
start dealing it in a way के नहीं नहीं कोई नहीं, सबके साथ ही ऐसा होता है, मैं तो भी lucky हूँ.
Right.
I feel like everyone has got their share of tornadoes, dude. And I feel like every day that we preach about the fact that, you know, think about yourself, work on these facts, is still less than what we are doing right now.
Yeah. For
But
sure.
yeah,
This conversation is really important, and every one of us should take out time to just ask yourself how you are doing
yeah,
and try and be really honest about it. Try and be aware about it. So if you're angry, if you're upset, if you're sad, just be aware of it and then try to look at it from a little distance, and then you will gradually start knowing yourself better. And sometimes when it is not clear, that is when you reach out to a therapist, you reach out to a counselor, help them give an external view on yourself. But the end goal is to know yourself fully. And yeah, you talk to your friends, you talk to Yaya sometimes, and
yeah,
it helps.
yeah.
All
But
right.
man, Sid, this has been great. Before we end, so this ये प्रथा पता नहीं last मेरे stream पे मैंने कर ली थी, तो I feel like we should continue. I ended the stream with a song, like I
Okay.
sang a song.
Okay.
So because you are here, I would like you to sing a song.
Oh, well, that was convenient.
I had you in the first half. It's like,
What song are we singing?
any song that you like.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. And while you're thinking of the song, मैं बस chat को कह दूँ एक last time के guys, thank you so much for being around for this whole time. I hope you enjoyed. I'm trying to make this more regular as a session, and I am glad that you guys stuck around. And Sid is a magnificent person. So I'm so glad he was here. I'm so glad you are the first person I called for this thing, because man, beautiful.
Cheers, man. Yeah, like, so I'll admit to feeling a lot of FOMO because साला unfiltered करते जा रहे हैं, और मतलब मैं सोच रहा हूँ in your season 1, okay, and I was like, all right, let's wait for it.
मेरा time आएगा.
Okay, let's sing an old Hindi song.
Okay,
and you will of course join in. It's a Kishore Kumar song called Phoolon ke Rang Se.
फूलों के रंग से.
You know that song, right?
नहीं, but Google does.
You would know it. I thought Phoolon ke Rang Se. नहीं. Oh, does chat know? Otherwise, listen.
This is the point, Sid, where you realize that age is not just a number.
Wow. Okay. Screw it. Let's just sing Summer of 69.
You said old song, I was like, हाँ ठीक है. You went Kishore Kumar, फूलों के रंग. मैं कहा, oh, okay.
Dude, it's a beautiful song.
All right, so I think we should go with that. मतलब लोग एक नया गाना सीख जाएंगे. Like it's a good way of giving them a new song.
Okay. All right. Okay, then let's sing an English song then. Let's sing Words. It's a very simple song. Everybody would love it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll sing it, don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you, Sid. You saved me.
Yeah. So this is called Words. It was last sang by Boyzone. It's a band. Smile, an everlasting smile. A smile can bring you near to me. Don't ever let me find you gone, 'cause that would bring a tear to me. This world has lost its glory. Let's start a brand new story now. My love, you think that I don't even mean a single word I say. It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away. That's it. Thank you. For a poet, I thought that was perfect because
Yeah.
he's just breaking hearts with his words all the time. So yeah, this
Oh,
poem was dedicated to Yaya.
sounds like a relatable human being. I don't know who else I've known like that. But thank you so
Cheers,
much,
man.
Sid. Thank
Cheers.
you so much for making time and being here. Genuinely.
My pleasure, dude. My pleasure. Chat, lovely talking to you guys. See you all soon.
See ya. Bye, Sid. And bye, chat. Also, before you go, just reminding you, 9:30 को Discord पर open mic शुरू हो रहा है. तो भाई तुरंत ध्यान से वहां चले जाओ. काफी बढ़िया poems और songs होने वाले. It's going to be really, really fun. So yeah, see you next time. Bye bye. Yep, done.